Hello, my name is Tim, my company is Sports and Touring, and we have built our reputation as performance Jaguar specialists. But of course, from the same stable comes the fabulous Land Rover range, vehicles which offer opulent luxury, enormously refined motorway cruising, cross-country capability and all-terrain driving in a class of its own, and the tremendous enjoyment that all of that brings. And as we expand our operation, we're going to be bringing you more of these fabulous 4x4s. And therefore it's an enormous pleasure to show you this one. It's a Discovery HSE Luxury, so the very top specification with the very best equipment. It looks stunning in ultimate black, also known as Santorini black, and it's sitting on style 9002 alloy wheels, freshly refurbished and looking fabulous with their diamond turned face. They are wearing, by the way, Pirelli Scorpion Verde tyres, as at home on the motorway as they are in the hills. It's in fabulous condition, it's been very well looked after, and I'm delighted to show you around. Despite its size, the Discovery 5 manages to be extraordinarily stylish. I think that is partly down to the way that it follows the Range Rover design ethos of having that bluff, that blunt nose, the long bonnet, and then a cabin which follows behind those things with a shape that is very distinctly Range Rover, Land Rover. And with the Discovery 5, of course, and moving away from the higher back of the previous Discoveries, this car aligns itself much more with the Range Rover lineup. It's a great looking car too because of all the details as you go around. For example, these headlights, the internals of them, quite complex, very eye-catching, very stylish. Likewise, the little flash there on the side of the car, which sits where the power vents would be on an F-Type, for example. But here it is just a piece of design, and it adds so much the aesthetic, especially the way that it leads into the cheek line down the sides of the doors. Then we've got, of course, these beautiful door handles with their surround trim, very stylish. We've got a Land Rover badge there. And as we come round to the back of the car, the rear light clusters and the whole treatment of the rear end, really. That wonderful recess that they've incorporated, which carries the number plate and the reversing camera and the badge, of course. But it's also a really interesting aesthetic device. And then the wheels, style 9002, as I say, beautiful diamond turned wheels, freshly refurbished. They are in fabulously good condition. And wearing these Pirelli Scorpion Verde tyres, and they look so absolutely brilliant in that particular finish, and add again to the very powerful aesthetic attraction of this particular vehicle. And wherever we go around the car, you can see, despite its mileage, the paintwork is in astonishingly good condition. Yes, it's done some travelling, but this car is in great order and represents itself really as being a much younger, much lower mileage example, both outside and where we're heading next, inside the cockpit. We'll supply this Land Rover, of course, with 2 remote key fobs and the owner's book pack. But there's no need to have the key fob in your hand or press buttons on it in order to gain access to the car, because keyless entry is one of the features of this particular Discovery. And in order to unlock, simply walk up to the car with the key fob about your person somewhere and touch the door handle, and the car senses your presence, unlocks, and the power fold mirrors move out into position. And then we can open the door and look into this beautiful and sumptuously luxurious space. Starting our inspection in detail, perhaps with the door card, you can see here that it is in beautiful condition with this lovely ebony leather. It's a very high quality leather finish in this particular Discovery. You can see that we've got the memory buttons for the driver's seat, the window and mirror controls, and there on the speaker enclosure, Meridian Surround, which tells you that we have the very top level infotainment package on this particular vehicle. Panning around, I think the first thing that catches your eye is these beautiful seats, again in ebony leather and with contrast light oyster piping, which looks really beautiful. And then we've got this perforated leather in the centre sections as well. which makes the seats extra comfortable and incorporates the heating and cooling seat function as well. You can see down here we've got the electric seat controls, so all of the seat motion is fully electric and again memorized. And down there we can see the tread plate is in great order, and the thick rubber mats are also fitted in this vehicle at the moment. Okay, sitting down into the Discovery 5, there's a lovely thud as you close the door there, indicative, I think, of the quality and weight of this particular vehicle. And again, looking around the cockpit, it is a very high quality environment. The materials are very fine indeed. The design is fantastic. I love the way that the technology and the artistry of design come together in this particular vehicle. It's something that Jaguar Land Rover have really got right in the recent couple of decades. Okay, looking around in more detail, between the seats we've got individual armrests which fold down like so, and you can rest your arm there while you're driving very comfortably. We've got this big centre armrest that lifts up to reveal a handy stowage tray there, and under that, in this HSE Luxury, we've got the fridge. So you can chill your drinks in there, cans and so forth for your journey, and enjoy really cold refreshments on the move. Forward from there, we've got the 12-volt socket, the slot for a micro SIM card for mobile data, and then a pair of USB sockets so that you can charge your devices and also plug into the Android and CarPlay systems built into the infotainment. Moving forward from there, and you'll see that we've got piano black veneer in this cockpit, a beautiful, very stylish and classy design. The lid slides back here from the cup holders, and we've got 2 drinks holders and 2 slots for your mobile devices as well. You can slot a phone in there, and it's readily to hand but without the screen flashing away when alerts pop up and distracting you. Okay, then we come to this big driving modes selector panel, and to explore that properly, we'll fire up the V6. So my foot is on the brake, my finger is on the start button, and there we are. We'll see the self-test of the instrument display. We get a little message flash up about the AdBlue, which we've just refilled, but the car hasn't yet sensed that the AdBlue tank is refilled. And above us, the noise you could hear was the screen moving out of the way of the panoramic sunroof. So that screen closes automatically when the car is shut down in order to keep the temperature in the cabin low, and then it opens when you start the car up again. So coming to the centre console, we'll close the drinks holder cover and start with the electronic parking brake, which comes on and goes off by itself. Largely you can release it manually if you need to, but it's got hill start assist and generally speaking just takes care of the things for you. Forward of that, we've got the traction control defeat button, and then next to that we've got the adjustable suspension. So at the moment we're at standard suspension height. We can lower down to go to access height, and that makes it easier to get things in and out of the car because the sills are presented at a lower height and it's easier for passengers and so forth. And then we've also got lock access height. So if you're going into a car park, for example, with low barriers, lock the car down at access height and you can drive into the car park with the maximum clearance above the vehicle. Then we press like so to go back to access height and then back to normal height and then off-road height. And I'll just lift the camera up and let you watch as the car rises up here to the full off-road height. You can see it's several inches higher than the access height is, and this gives you the maximum ground clearance for off-road all-terrain driving. Okay, back down here again, and we've got the Eco Stop Start defeat button there. That prevents the engine from turning off at the traffic lights and so on. Hill descent control, which is a very handy feature for going down steep slopes. And then we've got the terrain response programs. At the moment we're in auto, but if we press and release, we go into manual programs, and we have comfort at the moment. And then we flick round one to grass, gravel and snow, one more to mud ruts, one more to sand and then finally to rock crawl. And these are the different modes which you can have the vehicle in for off-road driving. And I would recommend selecting those manually. If you're going to do off-road driving, get some training, and you can really make the best use of this fabulously capable machine. Okay, we'll put that back into auto, and we've got the low range gearbox selector there. If we go into neutral gearbox mode and then press that, we will get the low range of the gearbox activated, and that again gives you enormous off-road capability. Okay, back into high range, and you can see here the gear selector. Neutral at present, we have reverse there, which calls up, of course, the fabulously clear reversing camera and the parking sensors there, and those very helpful guidance lines which tell you where the back end of the car is going to go. And then we go from there into park. That'll stop the park sensor from alerting us, and we can go round into drive, and then you press down, of course, and rotate to go into sports gearbox mode. Okay, back into park so we don't roll anywhere. Well, we look at the climate control section here, and we've got dual zone climate. In fact, we've got 4-zone climate in this vehicle because the rear seat passengers have their own climate controls as well. Front passenger temperature dialed in there, driver temperature dialed in there. Press either of these buttons for the seat cooling and seat heating options, 3 stages either way, an absolute boon in extremes of temperature. And then, of course, you've got the screen heating, including the electric front screen heating, which has those tiny little wires running through the windscreen, and which heat the windscreen up and clear it so very effectively in cold weather. And we've got the air conditioning button, max air conditioning, which gives you the maximum chilling of the car as quickly as possible, and the timed recirculation as well, which again, if you need to heat the car up or cool the car down rapidly, that is the button to reach for. Here we've got the selector, which will enable us to dial in the airflow direction using the infotainment screen, and then we've got the access there to the seat controls through the infotainment screen rather than through the buttons. So you can use the screen here and dial in heating and cooling on the seats like so. A lot of people miss this. Tap that and you'll see this compartment opens up, and in there we've got the control for the rear infotainment. So if you've got bodacious kids in the car, you might want to keep that out of sight, but if they're behaving themselves, you can pass it back and they can then control the rear screens and get the media and so on that they want on those screens on the rear of the front seat headrests. Gosh, there's a lot to talk about in this cockpit, isn't there? Here we come to the infotainment screen then, and I'll cover this very quickly. We've got the home page here with navigation, media and Bluetooth phone. We swipe like so to get to My Home 1, and this page enables you to populate the space here with your own choice of shortcuts, your own buttons that take you to your favourite functions. So sat nav, take me home, telephone, my office, play my favourite radio station and so forth. They can all be populated into there. Back to the home screen and across to the extra features screen 1, where we can see rear media, in-control apps, CarPlay and Android, eco data. There's a web browser function if you have live data, and access to the cameras as well. And then we go back to the home screen here, and 2 swipes left takes us to the extra features 2 page, where you can see controls for the seats, Bluetooth, configurable ambient lighting. So here you can select the colour of the lighting around the cockpit and its intensity as well. And then we've got voice control, 4x4 information, which Jaguar Land Rover has always provided, and that includes the off-road information in this particular car. I didn't tap it quite hard enough there, I don't think. Oh no, I'm not in terrain mode. Oh no, it has come up, sorry. And here we have then the all-terrain information. We've got the wheel information here, and we've got compass as well, and then the driving modes, terrain response information page here as well. Okay, back to see that we've got low traction launch as well. That is a handy feature if you're doing some off-road driving as well, to get the vehicle moving. Okay, back to the home screen once more, and like so, and you can see on the media options here we have got source, under which you'll find radio and media library, and if we had a phone plugged in or connected by Bluetooth, you'd see that there as well. And then under band you'll find FM, AM and DAB radio as well. And back once more for a final time here to see the navigation screen. Nobody's signed into the car at the moment. You do that once you've purchased the vehicle and get associated with it through Jaguar's in-control system, and we can nonetheless still access and use the satellite navigation. Very clear and crisp, lovely big display, very easy to program with your destination, easy to understand in terms of the instructions and information that you get as well. And then we come across to the steering wheel, beautiful leather steering wheel, and the thumb clusters here. So left-hand thumb cluster for the media controls, Bluetooth telephony, voice control. The right-hand thumb cluster for the cruise control and active speed limiter. And then we've also got the button for the heated steering wheel. Utterly brilliant to have a heated steering wheel in cold weather. Warms your hands as you're driving in a very satisfying way indeed. And then we've got the two stalks, left-hand stalk for the automatic headlamps, and on the right-hand stalk we've got the rain-sensitive wipers and rear wiper. And then in front of us, that beautiful instrument display, configurable. We can use the left-hand thumb pad to cycle through and change the display layout to, for example, a one-dial display like so, with big dial in the middle with the RPM and speedo and infotainment information panels either side. We can then go into the full map display, where the whole display in front of the driver becomes a map display, and I find that very helpful, particularly in built-up areas. To glance straight down and see the road layout around you directly in front of you is enormously useful. And finally then, to round off our tour of the cockpit, we'll take a look up above us, where we can see the tilt and slide sunroof. So if I press the button, we can first tilt it and then slide it out of the way like so, and that brings the air, of course, rushing into the cabin. We can close it like that and close the screen as well if we wish. And then finally we've got the rear sunroof, which has its controls here next to us with the screen there, which will slide across and keep your rear seat occupants nice and cool. So fabulously well equipped, beautifully designed. And I think the other thing, especially considering the mileage on this car, just the quality of everything in here is fabulously good. The condition of this vehicle is just wonderful throughout. It's almost completely unblemished. It really is in very fine order indeed wherever you look, and that is testament to the care with which it was treated by its previous keepers, I dare say. Okay, we'll switch the engine off, and next we'll take a look around the rest of the interior. I've got the engine running so that as we go round the rest of the car you can see some features in the rear seats in particular, but what I'd like to do now is just show you that with the car up at its off-road height, the ground clearance is astonishingly good. I've got a Discovery 3 and a Discovery 4, done some pretty serious off-roading in them, and I can say that they are tremendously competent at going off-road, partly because of that ability to lift yourself up above the ground. But coming round to the other seat areas of the car, we'll start with the middle row of seats, because of course this is a 7-seater, and you can see here the door card on the driver's side in very fine order. The carpet mats, the rubber mats there in very good condition, and these beautiful seats, again perforated ebony leather with light oyster piping, all in perfect order. We've got Isofix connectors there if you wish to put child seats in, that's no problem at all. And in the centre here we've got the middle seat, or you can have that armrest in position with the drinks holders. And then the engine is running so that we can see the rear seat climate controls here. You've got individual temperature for left and right side, and then press and dial in the seat heating as you require. And we've also got 12-volt sockets, HDMI and USB as well, which enables your rear seat occupants to plug into the infotainment and charge their devices. And we've got there the remote control for the rear screens, which are there in front of your rear seat passengers. I won't show you on the video the 6th and 7th seats. They are, in the photographs, they're in perfect order. They fold up automatically from under the boot floor here. You have to take this big rubber mat out, of course, but they're under there and they pop up very easily. It is an enormous boot space. I mean, just cavernous. I can't put it into words really. There's so much space in here. You've got a load cover that pulls across like that and keeps your belongings out of sight. And then here we've got the control panel, which enables you to operate the rear seats and retract them and so forth, and also to put the car up and down in and out of access mode and so forth, which is very handy when you're loading it. And then under the boot floor here we've got the tow hitch, removable tow hitch, which locks into position, enables you to do some towing if you wish to, and you've got the brace and jack hiding behind that compartment there. And of course it's an electric tailgate, so reach up there, press the button, and you'll see the tailgate folds itself closed like so. And we come round to the near side rear seat. Again, the door card in perfect order. The floor mat, I should say the rear of the front seats, of course, often marked, but in this car in great condition. And then the rear seat here, again, in good order too, very fine order. And round to the passenger seat at the front here. And again, you can see the door card is fabulously good, and the rest of the cockpit space here likewise in very fine condition indeed. And of course, along with the stowage bins in the doors, we've got the large glove box just there and another glove box area just there in front of the front seat passenger, like so. Plenty of stowage in this very practical vehicle. Okay, next we're going to switch the engine off and have a look under the bonnet. So under the bonnet we find the 3-litre V6 power plant producing 306 PS, and that, along with its twin parallel sequential turbochargers, and that is a technology that Jaguar Land Rover developed to overcome the turbocharger lag which plagues a lot of turbocharged vehicles. That propels this Discovery 5 from 0 to 60 in just 7 seconds. And to put that in context, when I was growing up, the XR3i was regarded to be a very fine sports car, and it took 9.1 seconds to get from 0 to 60 miles an hour. So this is a very rapid vehicle too. The torque and power of this big diesel engine really are tremendous, and yet the fuel efficiency is tremendous too. Those turbochargers assist in making this a pretty economical drive, and effortlessly smooth too, I would have to say. It's a lovely smooth engine and an excellent drivetrain. And having looked there at the engine, let's just talk about the handling and the dynamics and the suspension and so forth of this big vehicle, because they are more than capable of delivering tremendous driver enjoyment. This is a very pleasurable machine to pilot down the road, whether you're cruising the autobahn at speed or a windy B road in the English countryside. I really do enjoy driving the Discoveries. They are built not only to be enormously competent load carriers and comfortable cruisers, but the way the steering is set up and the suspension and so forth make them very pleasant to drive too. And I ought to say, service history, main dealers, apart from the last service, which was with a recognised independent just a few months ago, the car is in superb order. Mechanically, it's running exactly as it should be, and it's passed all of our technical inspections without any problems, and it's waiting to delight its next keeper. So thank you very much indeed for watching. It has been a great pleasure to show you this beautiful Discovery HSE Luxury. With Sports and Touring, we're just outside Andover in Hampshire, open 7 days a week by appointment only. You're very welcome to telephone, email or WhatsApp us if you've got any questions, or if you'd like to see the car in person or by video call. It'll be a pleasure to send you a link to our Google Drive. That's the online folder we keep with higher resolution images of the car which you can zoom in on, and PDF copies of important documents. If you've got a vehicle to dispose of on your buying journey, we will give you frank and honest advice about the best way to achieve the maximum value with the minimum inconvenience. And if you'd like to chat about finance, we can do that as well. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA, and we work with a really brilliant broker. Do please take a few moments to read our reviews in Auto Trader. I'm very proud indeed of the things our previous customers say about us. And I'll close by saying thank you again. Feel free to like and subscribe to us here on YouTube, and we will look forward to hearing from you very soon. Contact details are coming next.